In 1791, the Bill of Rights was created so that some of the states would agree to the Constitution of the United States of America. Which they said they knew that the Bill of Rights was going to come, to give them some specific rights that they would agree to. So they added the 10 Amendments to the Constitution. The Bill of Rights is made up of the 10 Amendments to keep peace with the citizens of the United States of America, some coming from Britain and some coming from Virginia. Let's get started with the 10 Amendments.
What is the right?
Our right is the First Amendment, and it's about freedom of religion, press, expression, and ratifying. So, why do they think that the right was important?
The right is important because you should not judge a person by the religion that they are, because they are born into it, so they should not change it. Everyone is believed to have freedom of speech and should have the right to share their ideas. The U.S. has said that citizens may believe what they want and can say what they please as long as it is not threatening or harmful in any way. What is the controversy over this amendment?
People may discriminate other people for believing their religions are bad, and many people feel that freedom of speech should be a thing that is learned, not something that is given.
Okay, we have the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. This means that citizens are allowed to buy, keep, and possess guns.
This is important because it keeps the government and public equal, because history is littered with stories of unarmed citizens taken over by dictators who have firearms.
Many people feel that crime is much more frequent and violent because people are allowed to have guns. Some people have tried to take away the right, but have not even come close. It was provided by our founding fathers and should not be taken away.
This is the right not to have soldiers in one's home, and this is important because it prohibits the quartering of soldiers or any kind of military personnel during peacetime.
I have the Fourth Amendment, which is the law stating that no one can search your body, house, papers, or possessions unless a judge has given them an okay. The judge must be presented with valid information which leads the judge to good reasoning that the person has committed a valid crime or has something to do with it. This is an important amendment because it gives citizens of the United States more privacy and allows them to feel more protected in their own homes. The controversy about this amendment is that it is degrading towards public law enforcement agencies because they're given less power by the United States.
A right is a freedom in society that everybody has. And the Fifth Amendment is first, cannot be held in the crime unless indicated by the grand jury. Second, the freedom of answering questions in the court. You don't have to answer if you don't want to. And third, cannot be convicted in the same crime twice. And the problem that in this amendment is just let one man is innocent because the court couldn't say he was guilty. But after the new evidence comes out, and he's maybe guilty, but he cannot go to court again. And the court cannot say that he's guilty again because the amendment says cannot be convicted in the same crime twice. That is a problem.
The Sixth Amendment basically means that you have the right to have a fair trial, a lawyer, and a jury.
You also have the right to know what you're accused of and see and hear what the people who are against you have to say. But some may argue that you may not deserve a fair trial.
Seventh Amendment gives the right to an accused for a trial in most civil cases. People thought this was important because the juries were required to base the decision on what the government officials wanted, but what they thought was right. The controversy over this amendment was that it was better to have a jury because it's easier for one person, for example, the judge, to be biased.
Okay, this is the Eighth Amendment, and this is the right where any person accused of a crime is protected from unreasonable bail, fines, and cruel and unusual punishments.
The Eighth Amendment is that there is a debate between people on the death penalty. Some people think that this counts as cruel and unusual punishment, but others don't. There are also other debates over the death penalty, such as how people are executed and the reasons for which they are executed.
In short, the amendment gives you the right that are not listed on the Constitution. The problem with the Ninth Amendment is that there's too much controversy because the amendment is too vague.
The 10th Amendment says that anything that the Constitution doesn't say the federal government can do is left up to the states and to the people. The Founding Fathers created this law because they didn't want the government
to be like the British one. They wanted everyone to have power. The problem with the 10th Amendment is that it could end up not being effective in the end because the federal government usually ends up with the power over the people and the states.